There's nothing overly sane about this group of individuals in here this morning. We have gathered together to wait for the sun to come up,
Ugh.
and it will
No, we've done well
have to look
this
out the
morning.
door.
We've
It
done.
will be coming up again. Good morning, I'm Rayford Brown.
And good morning, I'm Lee Barrow.
Chris Parks.
And Chris and I have about the same deep voice now. I finally reached the point that I can talk like Chris.
Okay.
I got to get some kind of a bug. Well, I don't know what it is, but apparently it's not contagious because I got no fever. My fever got up to 97 point. Was it?
Apparently,
Seriously.
you're not contagious because this started
I
last
run
week,
cold.
and I'm fine.
I mean, I've had people tell me I'm cold-hearted anyway, so
I don't think you're cold hearted. Mine
So
is about
many.
about 97 is normal.
So many jokes I have right
oh, I
now.
know, I've got plenty of them.
It's not
Oh,
even
they're
gonna
not,
go
the
there.
problem is they're not jokes. They're real. Hi, y'all, how was your weekend?
Busy. I had family and stayed really busy.
hmm You had an evacuee hanging around, right?
Yeah, I had an evacuation with me this week. She couldn't go back to App State, but
Yeah.
she could go to Grandma's.
Well,
And of course, we went shopping.
Of course.
Of
did you
course.
did she have a bunch of apps with the app state?
No, she knows better than me. We go to the grocery store. She has to take my debit card and show me how to use it, and I'm like, okay. It's a college student. They know everything. I'm like, yeah, okay.
We got we get, for whatever reason, people give us gift cards because
Yes.
they think we're not smart enough to go buy our gifts. Gift cards are great.
I love gift cards.
Our problem is we had a whole stack of them, I have a whole stack of them, and none of them would work.
Why?
I don't know. They didn't know. It says it shows it's got stuff on it, but they would not ring it as positive.
Did you activate them?
Did I do what?
Activate them. It used to be that when you got a card, you had to call the number on the back to activate it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you don't, they won't work.
Well, part of that's true. It didn't work.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, for heaven's sake, is that what it is? Why don't somebody tell me this?
Well, usually you'll flip it over and read what it tells you to
Have you
do.
lit that thing? Have you turned one of those little cards over to find anything on it?
You have to use a magnifier.
Yes, you do.
Put it bright
I
light.
got one somewhere.
I know. I
here.
was just going to say there's one right here somewhere.
keep it around.
Oh, here it
I
is.
kept it around here for.
This is what you
Well,
do,
let me-
Sherlock.
But even your debit cards or your insurance cards, if you want to try to call them, get a magnifying glass to look up the number that you can actually
He's not
call.
there. I cannot find it. I think it's hidden.
I agree, though. I got a new piece of furniture and I put it together, no problem. But it's got a strip of lighting that goes around it underneath. It's really pretty. You can light it up at night. And so when I went to read how to operate the lighting strip, even though I pretty much knew, I was just trying to
Good luck.
it's written in the smallest font ever.
And I also get one of these big old bright lights that I'll get a bunch of them. I bought them. Oh my God, they're rechargeable. They're made by a company called Braun, Braun.
Yes.
I got some. They plug into the things that charge your USB stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, and they last for a long time.
Mhm.
The LED and they're so bright. My God, I have to put sunglasses on just to read stuff with them.
It reminds me when we were in the mountains a couple of weeks ago. Of course, no electricity.
Are you
No, we
still having flashbacks, aren't you?
still having flashback. But what you just said brought to mind. I had, being a little prep queen that I am, and knowing that we might get the edge of some weather, which proved different, but I had taken lanterns that operate batteries. I had taken recharging units and stuff. So we had little lanterns all around, which, we could see well. And all that. My son-in-law walks in with this flashlight, and when he cut it on,
A million candle power, right?
we were screaming. We thought the electricity's back on, the power back on. And it was this flashlight.
Hmm.
We were like beat them up after that,
Probably
but
spotlight.
but it was huge. It's a best flashlight I have ever seen. I have to get one. But when he hit that button when he walked in, we thought the electricity had come back on.
Yeah, I got a couple of those spotlights.
It was
for use on the boat at
great.
nighttime. Looking for green and red markers up there,
Yes.
a half a mile away.
Yes.
And that thing
Do you
was
still
like
use the
circuit
old handheld spotlights?
handheld?
You remember the big
They're
old
battery
spotlights
operated.
yeah, it was had a handle on it. It was big around and it was a spotlight.
Yellow
Yeah.
handled kind of.
You know what I'm
I've
talking about.
I've got some handheld ones, but I've got one on top of the boat too. That's remote control.
Yeah, it's almost like what the patrol cars used to have on them. Do you remember those big lights they had on the
Those
front?
that you could never make work to go exactly right.
Yeah, and you're
Oh,
turning
Lord.
it and trying to see
Doing
who's
their patrol.
why that car is all the windows all steamed up and you put the spotlight on it.
You mentioned two places or two things: the mountains, and
Yes.
electricity. Had a friend of mine who has family there. Parts of Asheville and Boone have electricity.
Yes.
No.
Yes, yes.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
news.
I
Yes.
don't know that Asheville does, but I know Boone does. Most
Yeah.
of it.
Some
not
of
all
the is it Corps of Engineers or I forgot who with the National Engineers. Somebody has brought in a bunch of generators, big
Mhm.
generators. We're talking about
A
not
lot of people.
citywide, but those are kind of a bunch of area.
Yes, and I have to say, the people of North Carolina,
Oh yeah, best people in the world.
best people in the world, I have that have bought generators, businesses, company, individuals that have bought generators, packed them on a truck and taken them.
Mhm.
And the other, because it's supposed to get cold this week in the mountains. Down
Well, it's 54
four.
right here, right
I
now.
love it. I love it. I love
I
it.
know
Love
you
it.
got your lumberjack outfit on.
No,
Well,
I don't
sort of,
like
kind of like.
It looks
lumberjack.
like flannel, but it's not. But it's just colors. But yeah, I mean, gosh, it's not going to be long until they're going to be thrown into a lot of cold nights.
Yeah, and they're probably looking forward to it. Cold nights mean no hurricanes.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I'm sure they're up there saying, I'll take that snowstorm any day of the week. We're ready for it. Bring it on.
Well, I'm gonna have to tell you, I sent you an article. No, I posted it on Facebook, but I took it off. And then I went back and read it again. And like you said, whoever wrote it, it
And
was
they
from
are
the
dumb,
North
dumb,
Carolina
dumb.
Department of Public
And they're
Safety.
getting paid by tax dollars.
And
of
I'm
course.
like, you're right, because
every one of them.
the very
And their
last
losses.
the very last rumor that they listed, they never listed the
I know.
facts to counteract it. And I'm like, I'm just going to take this whole thing off. But the garbage that is coming out on social media, I'm not saying that maybe there might be some issues there, but you look at it this way. You've got FEMA who mainly goes out to show up to see what you need. They don't stay on the ground the whole time. But you've got different organizations that are all jumping in there. Everybody's trying to do something. And you've got all these volunteers coming in and everybody wanting to do their own thing. You've got to try to organize it. You've got to try to find a place to put your donation, somebody to do that. It's a mass of people that have gone in there, which is wonderful. But there's been a lot of confusion over stuff.
Yeah, and it happens.
And it happens whenever you have something huge like that.
One of their biggest problems is a lack of organization because they're not
Yes.
prepared for this.
No.
Who is? You can be prepared.
How
for
many
this.
towns and areas that have been destroyed? Okay, who's in charge of this and who's in charge of that and who's going to be overall in charge? So there's a
And
lot
as
of,
long as you don't appoint Kamala to be the czar of anything, you're okay.
well, you'll have a lot of miscommunication. You'll have a lot of disorganization, but the big thing is people are there helping, but the garbage that has been on social media, like this piece of garbage article kept going around, and I'm just trying to be nice about it, that the government was going to bulldoze Chimney Rock, including the bodies that were buried in the mud. I'm like, are y'all serious?
Yeah, there are people that believe that kind of crap. I mean, the moon's landings never occurred. They were in some desert out there in Arizona.
Yep.
Was it New Mexico? Maybe one of them. You got to put that crap behind you.
I mean, we have seen and have heard, like we had that one helicopter pilot that ran into an issue with a local sheriff and was forced to leave the area.
Was it a law enforcement officer he had ran into? Or was
Buford T. It was Buford T. Justice.
Well, the helicopter pilot
probably.
is a law enforcement officer. He,
Yeah,
has
I
training
know
and all
he
that.
was.
And he ran into a local sheriff, or it could have been assistant chief of police or something, but who was like, no, you don't need to be in my area. You need to take that helicopter. We
God.
don't care that you're picking up people over there. You're going to meet butts like that.
No,
They're going to be
they-
butts
you
like
know,
that.
Yeah, there are, and
But-
they don't need to make headlines.
No,
They
it
need to
doesn't
be
mean that the
discounted.
whole thing is wrong.
But they do.
They
That's,
do.
that's part of the problem is what the media, national media,
Yep.
not the local. If you want someone that knows, speak to someone, and there's been a few from Onslow County that have been there,
Mhm.
dropped things off, have come back and told the real story, what they've seen,
Right.
Mhm.
what's going on. And the latest is $750 is what FEMA's giving individuals there.
Uh-huh.
$750.
Well, we know what
But-
that's for. That's here. I know you need food. I know you need this. Here's $750 to put in your pocket. Go ahead, get what you need now. Start
Well,
off.
first of all, the ATMs are dead.
That's right.
You can't get money. If you've got $1 million in the bank, it's going to be in the bank. You can't get it.
No.
Cash rules.
So in today's economy, what are they going to get with $750?
Some
The thing about it is,
7-pound hamburger.
and that's another big misconception about, the $750. What FEMA has done is they're going ahead and reaching into their pocket and saying, here, $750 is yours. Go get what you need, whatever you need immediately. If you've got someplace to go, like a store or something like that. But this is immediate need. And no, they're not requiring that you pay it back. Yes, you can still apply to FEMA for your losses and see what they will cover. And once again, like you ask our insurance commissioner when he calls, if you don't already have insurance, FEMA is not going to replace your loss 100%.
Oh.
They're only going to give you up to a certain amount. If you have insurance, like say you have flood insurance, FEMA is going to reimburse you for your loss. It's just like
Yeah, we'll talk with Mike Cosieres, state insurance commissioner. We're going to be
my
talking to him
favorite commissioner.
in about 30 minutes or so. We'll be
Well, that's just like you, Rayford. Say you had no insurance on this house because you chose not to put in insurance.
Mhm.
Storm came along and completely took everything.
Mhm.
FEMA is only going to give you so much because they have their disaster plan, but the rest of it you're going to pocket
Yeah.
because you chose not to get insurance.
I'm gonna
and
move-
unfortunately-
move a mobile home in here.
That's the hard facts.
Well, it is. And I agree. Those people in the mountain, when they talk to a couple of married couples that have lived there forever, no one here in the mountains ever bought flood insurance.
No, I wouldn't.
Why
How
would you?
they?
Why would you?
Yeah.
I don't have it here, and I don't live in the flood zone. You don't either. You don't either. You're close. Well, you're close.
Getting closer every day.
But oh my goodness, I forgot to mute. But the thing about it is, it's just like we choose not to buy the flood insurance.
Mhm.
We're not in flood zones, but yet, if we ever had a storm like that came through here on the coast,
Oh my.
extenuating
You mean
circumstances,
like Florence?
yes, we
6
all
years
could be
ago,
flooded.
Mm.
We all could be flooded, and if our homes flood, we lose. Our
I want
insurance
y'all
is
to
not going
think
to
about
pay.
this just a little bit. That little creek that you got, it's a ditch.
Yes.
It's not a creek.
I
Down
have a
behind your
ditch.
house, down
Mhm.
there, y'all. That little ditch behind your house is meant to drain water
Right.
from the area. When the limbs and stuff, the beaver dams are built, when the limbs pile up over a period of time and they're not removed,
Mm-hmm.
well, the water's going to stop flowing. And it might not be that you got branches in the creek behind your house. Downstream, they got branches. They got a beaver dam
Right.
that nobody has moved. I don't want to mess with the little beavers. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be hurting society. Why? They've got a home. They got little ones here. Sorry, Bubba.
Save the beavers.
Yeah, bring back the house. Come
Yeah.
on, bring back the house.
Well, we used to have terrible flooding on our street where I live until the city went and dug out the sewer. They did a lot of work, and thank goodness it's good now. So thank you, City of Jacksonville, for that.
Can I mention something about that?
Yes, you may.
Why is it? I love, Donnie, if you can afford a lawn service necessarily, But when they're doing businesses and they're, especially on the main highways, they're blowing grass, debris. That's all clogging up the drains.
It is.
Irritating. Yes, that's wrong.
I've seen them blowing it into the storm drains.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yes.
I've seen up there, they're commercial servers. They'll go by, and some, not all of them. I occasionally will see some will go by, and they'll be blowing it into the
Right.
storm drains.
And they don't realize that that's causing
I think it's Kathy.
systems.
What little bit I do get in the roadway, I blow back onto my
I do
grass.
too.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
the
you
way it's
do.
supposed to be done.
That's right.
All right. Hey, Marty, how are you?
The question is, how are you?
Oh, I'm here. I'm doing great. Don't I sound it?
Oh, great. Oh, yeah, you sound wonderful.
I put,
Yeah,
I
radio.
put a little bass in my voice here this morning to make me sound kind of like
Yeah.
Chris Park. Why do I do that? every
I don't
time?
know.
Chris Parks. Because
No worries.
they both got
Hey, good morning, Chris Parr.
You can call me anything.
But anyway, Marty's, he's kind of special to us. He lives next door with my grandbaby and with my daughter and with my adopted dog. And
That's my dog.
yeah, I know.
I love that
Everybody
dog.
loves Lucy. Everybody loves Lucy.
So if I wave this way,
Yeah.
am I going to wave to Marty?
No, because he's not there.
Okay.
Marty's
Sorry, Marty.
doing a very good thing right now.
Yeah, he's up there riding his butt off.
He's raising money for the victim center, the domestic victim center here in Onslow County.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, we do appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're getting ready to go out there and ride around for a little while, right?
Oh, yeah, we're leaving from Lenore, North Carolina, and we're going to go to Statesville, which is the way we're going is not the fastest route. It's about a little over 58 miles a day. And I'm pretty sure I see hills now since the sun's coming up. So it's probably not going to be all the way downhill, but you'll probably have to go up some hills too. But I found some fellas I rode with 3 years ago already, and I'm going to ride with them. So safety in numbers.
Yeah.
Amen.
We're raising. We got sponsors every day. We're raising money for the Onslow Victim Center, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
I kind of, yeah, that's the main thing. And I like to cycle, so we combined it. We combined everything into this
Wow.
1 week.
Wonderful. That's good for you.
So, yeah.
I
And
have to
Even though
give
they cut one day off this week because, of course, we're supposed to start at Spruce Pines, and of course they got flooded and it was too bad, so we went one town over to start. And I figured they cut out two days, but they only cut out one. And there's not many cyclists out here, and it looks like we got about 8 or 9 state troopers on motorcycles.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
That's great.
So this is a top-notch organization here. Any other ride is just a downer.
let me just give you one word of warning, okay, with the state troopers out there. Any vehicle, does not have to be a motor vehicle, that exceeds the posted speed limit is subject to getting a ticket. Happened to Camp Lejeune.
Yes.
Back in the
Right.
first gas crisis around here,
Mhm.
people were riding bikes. The MP's got a guy, PMO got a guy for running like 64 or something like that in a 50-mile-per-hour speed zone at Camp Lejeune. They gave him a ticket.
They're tough out there.
They were tough.
They're tough.
Well, Marty, I have a question. All the other bicyclists, are they also riding for a certain cause? Is this one cause everybody's riding for, or different causes?
No, this is just the cause I picked up. I mean, it's just a big ride every year this week. 7-day tour, no race. It's for mileage every day. If we did all 7 days, it would probably been 425 miles. So it probably ended up about 375 this year since
Wow.
we cut a day off.
Wow.
And of course, you're supposed to take off at 7:30, between 7:30 and 9, because if you take off later than 9, the rest areas ain't, they might close by the time you get there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't do is pass up any rest area. If there's a rest stop, Marty stopping. I'm telling you that.
Marty, welcome to the world
pass up a rest stop, and I've been riding for like 14 years. I'm not going to pass up. It's got food and drink. No, I'm not.
Well, can I ask you this?
Do they have any barbecue?
Well, I tell you, some of them do. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Can I ask you this? Would you be disqualified if you were to put like an electric motor on your bike? That's what I need.
No. Like I said, it's not a race. It's just a tour.
Very good.
You know, you pay to play, so you pay
Yes.
to come on this thing. So you can't say nothing.
And for all those listening, this is what Marty does to help raise money.
Yep.
So please donate.
Yeah, absolutely. What can they do if they want to
And
donate
you
some
can
money for you?
go to onzovc.org. You can look up. And now we're raising this money for the Victim Center, but it all stems through the Dancing Stars of Onzo County too. So I'm paired up with Miss Agnes Hickley this year. You can go to onzovc.org,
I'll put that on here.
hit the right buttons, go meet the dancers, and Agnes, Marty donate under our banner, under our names.
Yeah.
It's $1, $2, $100, it don't matter. Every dollar counts.
Marty, who's the better dancer?
Between who?
The two of you.
The two of you.
Oh, she's good. And she after the first practice, I told the lady it was teaching us to dance. I said, hey, you don't have to teach her nothing. I mean, just let her go. We wind her up and let her go and do her own thing. And I just, as I've been told, she's the pitcher and I'm the pitcher frame. So
I got you.
There you go.
Been there, got that T-shirt. I understand exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. But anyway, Marty's been involved in this Dancing Stars for any number of years now, and you've won a whole bunch of awards, you and your partners, over the years. So that's good.
You
raise a lot of money.
Deal.
That's one of the categories too. The whoever raises what is it? What do they call it? I forgot. It's not the judges.
People's Choice Award.
People's Choice. That's decided by the number of bucks you raise, right? That's the best way. And that really said a lot. Last year, let's just put this into perspective. How much did your team raise last year?
Last year we didn't have it. 2 years ago, I was paired up with my best partner ever, which is my wife. We raised over 25 grand.
Oh,
Wow.
hey, listen, can we get another one of these going, and maybe you can help me, get through some hard times. Well, now that you mention it,
Can I? One more thing. If anybody wants to, you can keep up with me this whole week on Facebook under Marty's Mountains to the Coast Ride, and if you go in there, we'll set you. You can see all the shenanigans behind the scenes. I mean, you can see me before and after you don't know because I'm tired and I'm busy and I've got to be helped to the van. So I could be, I don't know, somebody happy. I could be ill too. Mom said I could be ill, but I try not to be like that.
does she still use that word "ill" when she describes things?
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't remember that from day one. The day after she was born, she was telling me I was ill.
Well, Marty, how many days of this are you participating? Or is it the whole week?
This week after they cut the first day out is 6 days.
Wow.
Monday, today through Saturday. It's usually Sunday through Saturday.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
you got a day of rest yesterday. Good.
Oh yeah. See how long that lasts.
Okay. Do you have a spare bicycle with you?
I got several with me, so
Wow.
I don't have if one falls apart, I can jump on another.
Okay. Now this is not your $29.95 Schwinn bike, are they?
Mm-mm.
It's not a heavy chore. I wish they were. I wish you could use it, and I could get around like that. 30, 50 pound bag. Not good.
Gotcha. All right.
You need all the measures you can get.
Good luck to you. You say there's safety in numbers is what you right. That's the way you put it.
Right.
Okay. Well, Diving, I say the same thing. If I got a half dozen divers in the water with me, my chances of surviving are a lot greater because the critters out there that want to eat you, they'll pick one of you.
Talking about surviving a bike ride.
Well, there are
He's only on
drivers out
day one.
there are four-wheel vehicles out there. Right,
Just
Marty?
be careful, Marty.
Right. Right.
Yeah, be safe.
Yes, be safe.
Yeah.
It's 58 degrees right now up here.
Well,
And I
God,
think each day we go more east, each night it's going to be cooler. It's going to be down in the 40s time to get to the east side.
well, it's 54 right here at the studio right now.
So I'm warmer than you.
Yes, you are. You're hotter.
You're hot.
All right, we got to get you and your partner in here. I want to see y'all dancing out here on the
Yes.
floor.
We need to
got
start.
cameras.
Tell Candy we need to
Well,
start
time I get-
scheduling.
Time we get back, we only got 2 weeks before
I
I
know.
know it.
My tickets are in the mill here. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Make sure you get ready for the music. You need to dance to the dance. You're going to play that, right? Rayford?
We can try.
Yeah.
Right.
No, we can't. We can't let any.
Dance acapella as well as people can sing acapella, right?
That's true.
You hear the music in your head, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's what counts. All right. Marty, good luck.
All right.
Be careful.
Be
Talk to you
careful.
more.
Thanks to you.
All right.
All right. Thank
All
you,
right.
Bob.
That's Marty Thompson, son-in-law, bike rider, bike
Son-in-law
enthusiast.
extraordinaire.
Well, he's the best
He
son-in-law.
does this
He's the best son-in-law.
every
I've got.
year. He's the only son-in-law.
Well, that makes him the
There
best.
you go.
Oh, of course. I have one of those too.
Okay,
He's the best in my world.
good. That's the way it works.
Okay.
Okay, let's do a little bit of weather. The
Let's
rain
do weather.
forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Prevention is the key word in Community Prevention Services. The idea is to make sure that any issues you're experiencing don't blow up into something that's life-changing. You might think that the PTSD, the anxiety, the depression that you're dealing with is awful. In all honesty, it probably is. What you want to do is to make sure it doesn't get to a point that you can't deal with. And by deal with it, I don't mean trying to self-medicate with drugs or alcohol. That's the easy way out, and it's a failure. That's not where you need to be. Trying to cover up the confusion, the pain, the paranoia. Yes, it is all real, and best way to deal with it is direct confrontation. The problems with that is finding someone who can help you without judging you. Family, even your closest friend, may not understand the issue. Even if your best friend has gone through the same trials, not everyone is wired the same. You deal with it differently. Pretty good bet that even with your issues, you know folks with their problems that they don't even bother you in the least. Same with the problems that you're facing. They may not bother Chris over here or Lee. They probably will bother me. But that's the way things go. Why not reach out to a professional, a counselor that's right around the corner? Right here in Jacksonville, no trips to Wilmington, Asheville, or Chapel Hill. Locally owned, locally operated. Community Prevention Services is at 918 Henderson Drive. Counselors there actually care about their patients. You're a whole lot more than just a number. Give them a call. Set up a time to talk. You'll be glad you did. 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972. Offshore today, small craft advisory is in effect through this afternoon. Northwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers are going to be flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon. Northeasterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 20 with gusts to 25. Seas 3 to 5. Sounds and rivers are choppy. Wednesday, okay, we're watching the progress of Hurricane Milton, as it could definitely impact coastal conditions in North Carolina. Not much of a chance that it will turn and come our way, but we're going to get some high seas and likely beach erosion and definitely rip current. So we'll talk to you about
More
that
houses
in a
in
little
the ocean that were dancing.
bit. Yeah.
We're just going to finish them off.
Northeasterly winds Wednesday 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6, sounds and rivers choppy.
And today we have some patchy fog. before 9 a.m., then becoming sunny with a high near 83. Tonight, isolated showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy with a low around 57. Tuesday, sunny up with a high near 78. And Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 75.
Mhm.
Cold front coming in
I
today.
like that. I get a little bit
Yeah,
here.
tonight, yes.
Okay.
Anyway, you could add 10 degrees to that.
What?
At
10
nighttime,
degrees, 85. 85.
85 is nice during the day.
I
Yeah,
like
kind of burn stuff off.
I like the mid 80s. I think it's just enough to give you a little bit of a sweat, but you don't die from the heat. So,
All right, the word is official. All those rolls of toilet paper and paper towels you loaded up on when the longshoremen took a 3-day holiday that they called a strike last week, you can now return them. The dock workers are back at work tying up those big old ships coming to a port near you. You might have missed the part of that big story. The paper products, most of them are made in America and are not shipped by ship to your Walmart store. There's no water. I don't know of any Walmarts that are on the big harbors. Do you?
no.
Walmart's official statement over the weekend said that most of the rush actually came from areas affected by Hurricane Helene.
Yes.
Yep, not just from the immediate area, but from places including eastern North Carolina. People turned out in droves, thank you all of y'all, to get the supplies to send to the impacted area to our west. Those of us who have experienced hurricanes know what shortages are all about, and we want to help our neighbors, even
Yes, sir.
those a few hundred miles away. You can add too that it's less expensive. It's less expensive for us to buy retail today and ship it overnight FedEx if necessary than it will be for the government to buy it at 50% over retail, send a team of 2,000 FEMA guys to the area so they can hand it out one roll at a time. Okay, for those who did not catch the smart alecky attitude.
We caught it, didn't we, Chris? We were like,
That's what I did. Do not post it and send it out as fact on the social media. I think I trust the local media to know better, I hope. Problem is, according to the State Department of Public Service, crazy social media posts based on nothing but perhaps what you hear standing in line at a big box store, maybe while you're in the head at the grocery store. That's the head of the bathroom, by the way. At the corner watering hole, that the 3-day longshoreman's
what?
vacation is why the ships are void, in some cases of the paper goods. Only takes one post going viral before everyone heads to the stores to scoff up what's left.
Good Lord.
Those Walmarts and Sam's Clubs and Costco's are places like Arizona, all those places, they got plenty to go around, as will the stores around these parts soon. But when they get their weekly shipment, please don't become one of those hoarders. Not sure whether you've ever looked closely. This is a fact, y'all. Trust me.
Right.
Toilet paper has an expiration date. It's printed on the 10th sheet of every roll. Believe me, trust me. Share that on Facebook.
Oh, gosh.
Tell them that Marvin Gaye told you that he heard it through the grapevine while he was in the cornfield looking for some cobs. You can't be too careful. I'm going to read that somewhere today. You know that, right?
Yeah, you are.
Being a
People have pictures of tearing their toilet paper apart looking for that expiration
Be
date.
sure you go to the 10th sheet. It's not,
Well,
on the
you know
11th,
what?
not on the 9th.
If you run out of toilet paper, you still have a washcloth, so quit panicking.
Thank you very much.
My gosh.
Interesting.
That's like disposable diapers and real diapers, right?
Yes.
Duh.
I know it.
I've watched on Facebook how many organizations in just Onslow County, churches,
Right.
restaurants, businesses, and people collecting, getting truckloads of things.
Right. It's
And that is because
amazing.
caring North Carolinians are
We do
buying the
care.
stuff and donating. The people out west helped us in the
And
east.
when we've had a hurricane, yes, they have.
And now we're trying to return the favor.
Right.
So I have seen in stores a shortage of some products.
Yep.
But it's because they're being bought to send to the people that need them right now.
Yep.
That's a great thing to do.
It is a great thing.
It is. It's a wonderful thing. And it makes me so emotional watching and listening and seeing. And it is extremely, it just makes your chest swell with pride and love.
The people in North Carolina, they're great. We're all great. We do we like you. we like our fellow man, fellow women,
Yes.
even those in between.
And I do have to
We
say,
work
throw
on it.
out some kudos to Governor DeSantis in Florida, who has been readily sending North Carolina continued help.
Well, the folks in Florida, they tend to get struck more than we do here in
Yes.
North Carolina.
Yes.
In fact, they were struck by 140 mile per hour winds, which
Yes.
lasted a very short period of time. That
God
you know
bless
that
them.
we all have in the coastal areas. We've all
Right.
experienced hurricanes. We've
Yes.
experienced a lot of rain. The good thing is we got a big holding retention pond. It's not called the Atlantic Ocean,
Mm,
and
Yep.
all that water that doesn't seep down in the sand runs back into the ocean right away.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a little slower when you got the rivers upstream and all the creeks and all that sort of good stuff overflowing, but it gets there
right.
and it's not lingering for a month or two or three or four.
Correct. Yes.
So it works. The problem in the mountains, as I will repeat and repeat,
It's a bowl.
it's a bowl, but it's also nothing but rock. It doesn't seep in. It's got to flow downhill. It's going to have to flow.
Right.
Evaporation doesn't evaporate that fast.
Right.
Okay, so that's what they're going through. And in the meantime, it's rushing water.
Yes.
It's rushing water.
Oh, I saw
I,
that.
I haven't been in that rushing water, but people,
You can't fight
I did
against
not
it.
call them fools. They go up there when it's calm, cool, and collected, and they get into that rushing water and ride it down on rubber boats, and they hit rocks. Rubber
Rafting. Yeah.
boats, sharp rocks.
Closest I've come
Not me.
to riding the rapids was at Busch Gardens. Other than that, no.
I'm not doing it there. I just,
Busch Gardens.
I got a boat.
Yes.
Okay, I got two of them.
Well, it
Think
was fun riding the
think of-
rapids at Busch Gardens, but
think
that's
of
about
only
as
that
close
too.
as I'm going to get to the real thing.
Where some of the projections are taking it. Kathy and I were in Tampa Bay. We
Right.
stayed at the Hard Rock, and her brother took us to some beach areas right on the coast. There's not much coast there to begin with. There's not
No.
much beach to begin.
No.
Yeah.
It's narrow.
What I find interesting about Milton is once it comes on shore, and it still moves fast, when it hits Melbourne on the eastern, it's going to still be a Cat 1.
Yeah,
And they're
Right.
supposed to get 10 inches of rain in Melbourne
Yeah.
before it exits.
Yeah.
That is a huge storm like Helene was.
it's building fast. It's a rapidly moving storm. That will be the only salvation, the only saving
Right.
grace here is that it's going to cross Florida Thursday-ish, somewhere later
Yes.
this week.
Then go out to sea.
It's going to go out
hopefully.
to sea, and with any luck at all, the current predictions are for it to go out to sea and kind of continue going out to sea,
Right.
up and away, northeasterly. We are on right on the edge of the possible path. That big cone that you'll look at,
Mm-hmm.
you can check our Facebook page, but you can also go to the National Hurricane Center and you'll see this cone. That's not how big the storm is. People make a mistake about
Right.
that.
Right.
The storm is still going to be the same size as a little dot in the middle of all that stuff.
Let's hope.
We just where it goes, we don't know. That is not even the impact zone, y'all. That is just the possibilities of where it could go. Now, that said, we got us from a storm that was 350 miles away. Helene,
Mhm.
we had a lot of surf here.
Yep.
Along the coast. And it wasn't even on our coast. Never was. It will churn up an ocean. Just the names out there calling it a hurricane going to churn up our ocean. And we will have rip currents. Anytime our ocean gets churned up, there are rip currents. So later this week, who knows when, Wednesday on, y'all need to check.
Well, I'm glad you said that because the news this morning did say that we're under dangerous rip currents right now
Mm,
at our beaches, which stays like that most of the time.
would
but-
not surprise me.
Right.
I'm glad both of you brought that up because people need to understand this. Lifeguards are now off for the season.
That's right.
And so
It's no longer the season.
no. And anybody that goes out into the waters, even if you're a trained swimmer and
You're
you
on
think
your
you're
own.
trained, you're on your own.
Yes.
And the beaches are not filled like they were in during our vacation season.
Not a lot of people gonna go help
No.
you.
So don't go in the water. I'm saying, it's
You
easy
know,
to say, I guess.
it is easy to say. And I was never a big beach fan.
Mhm.
I don't like the ocean, the surf. I love the ocean.
Mhm.
I got a boat to get me to where I want to go in the ocean to get overboard.
Mhm.
Then I go down to the bottom.
Right.
That's what my grandmother used to say. You've been down to the bottom of that ocean again, haven't you?
You like to hang
Yes,
out with
I have.
SpongeBob.
Yeah, there we go. I'm afraid I wouldn't say that. Anyway, I love the lure of the ocean. The surf sucks. Hey, maybe there's a good slogan. The surf sucks.
Well, in my younger days, I enjoyed it on the
Yeah.
surfboard.
I know you did.
Right
What?
there with you.
I didn't.
Yeah, well,
That's what we did growing up. We went down there to Scotch Bonnet,
yeah.
and that's where we surfed.
I look up and I say, yeah, that looks like a perfect meal for a shark. Silhouetted up there.
The worst I had was jellyfish.
Jumped
to a school with
man.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
In the
Oh.
Portuguese mineral.
How did you treat the stings?
I didn't until I got home.
Oh, you suffered.
Suffered.
You didn't
Yeah.
learn about that.
No, I didn't learn about what you're thinking. No.
Was it true that you could just have somebody hike their leg
Yep.
up on you and?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me. I just wear a wetsuit.
Okay.
Hey, we got 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, 2 weeks. October 17th. Somebody asked earlier, and I answered him. At October 17th starts early voting.
Yeah. And
And
we got
then-
a couple of people who bought some commercials here.
Yes, we did.
Yay.
Yep.
Hello, Onslow County. This is your Senator, Michael Lazaro. As election season approaches, I want to take a moment to reflect on the progress we've made together and share my vision for the future. I fought for better schools, secured funding for infrastructure, and ensured our veterans get the support they deserve. We've strengthened our local economy, creating jobs and opportunities for our families. But there's more work to be done, like making healthcare for our veterans more affordable and protecting our beautiful coastline. I believe in a transparent government that listens to your concerns. I've held town halls, heard your voices, and will keep fighting for what matters most to you. This November, I'm asking for your support to keep Onslow County moving forward. Together, we can build a brighter future for our children and families. Thank you for your trust and support.
It's paid for by Mike Lazaro, Senate candidate.
I am Robin Knapp, the current Vice Chair of the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. I am known to speak my mind candidly, truthfully, and bluntly on issues that affect everyone within our county, regardless of political affiliation, religious beliefs, gender, race. I am not afraid to tackle tough issues like lowering our tax rate and appropriate funding for our EMS, firefighters, public safety, mental health, and domestic abuse issues. I fully support our county employees, and I feel this is a staff that is the glue that holds Onslow County together. I have shown strong and consistent leadership and will not be influenced by others, and I will vote my conscience, always in the best interest of our citizens and not for a particular group, regardless of rhetoric. I love Onslow County and her citizens, and I appreciate your vote and support. May God bless America, Onslow County, and all of you. Vote to re-elect Robin Knapp for Commissioner, a voice for the citizens. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Robin Knapp.
All right, we got this election coming up.
Yes, we do.
Local rocks. Okay?
Yes.
That's we hear, we talk, we deal with all of the rhetoric that's coming out from the presidential race, all the way down to state races.
Right.
We hear the good, the bad, and mostly the ugly.
Mhm.
Each side is slinging mud.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. Chris, you and I have been following elections for a long time.
Yes.
Lee, unfortunately for Lee, she's still in recovery. She's still in rehab. She
Yes.
spent some quality
Political
time,
rehab.
some
Right.
quality time dodging bullets as chairman of the Onslow County Republican group.
Past chairman, for those listening. Never do it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you would. If asked, you shall run again. Anyway, during all of those times, so much mud has been slung. So many people.
Right.
Is the only way to make yourself feel better is to drag somebody else down to your level? You know what? They say that about a lot of people, and not even politicians, that I have to blast Chris. I have to say, just bad things about you, because that way I can drag you down to my level.
Mhm. It's horrible.
It's horrible. It's sad. It has bothered me since I was able to vote that, and some of them are going to say, okay, I'm going to do this for, I'm just going to say, like the Democratic presidential candidate. I'm going to help those wanting to start a small business, those that are going to start a family, and those seniors that have insulin. Okay, there's more people than that. But then the mudslinging starts.
Yep.
Okay, and you're right. And it's happening. That happens on the other side. I'm not giving Trump a break on this. Nobody just says, this is what I'm going to do, period. I don't want to talk bad about Rayford. He's a good person. I think I'm a better candidate than Rayford. He's not a bad person. Case closed. No more mudslinging.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's what all I want to hear is what you can do for me and for the country. I'm not just talking about me, but what you as a candidate can do for me. Not just say, I'll do everything I can in my power to make your life better. Snore through. I want to know specifically, what are the two top issues right now? Quickly.
For me?
Yep.
Border and economy.
Duh. Guess what? You are in the majority of the people in this country.
Exactly.
You are the majority of the people in this country. Why would you, as a candidate, not want to help the majority? You want to help everybody. You can't help everybody. You can do what you can. But the first thing you need to do, if you can help the majority of the people with those two issues right off the bat, then you can devote a lot of time. When you clear those two issues off the table, Chris, if I could wave my magic wand as a politician, political leader, not as a politician, as a political leader, to say, I'm fixing that blasted border and I'm fixing that blasted economy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what else have I got to do? Okay, well, let me see here. Okay, now I can take on the rest of the world's problem. Well, rest of this country's problems. That's the only thing I'd have to do. If I can get rid of those two issues, not by ignoring them, but by fixing them, then I can fix over the remaining years I got in my term, I can fix the rest of this problem, all of the problems we got.
For my Democratic friends that are listening, that we get to exchange sometimes on this show. There's a few things that need to be straightened out that you need to understand. First off, this taxation of the wealthiest. Okay, they're not at 3%. They pay around 31%. The wealthiest individual Americans, not companies, individual Americans. The middle class is in the middle, and they pay somewhere between 12 and 20%.
Yep.
There's no way that she can make a federal law for price gouging. And now what's going on right now, I don't believe is price gouging.
Well, let me say real quick,
Okay.
each state has their own law
Yes,
regarding
they
that.
do.
It's not a federal issue.
So why does she think she needs to do a federal issue? Make a federal, I'm going to federally prohibit price gouging, or words along those lines.
I'm going to federally prohibit, pick a topic, any topic. I'm going to federally prohibit street walking.
Okay.
I'm going to federally prohibit jaywalking.
I'm
What's that
glad
gonna
you
do for
clarified that.
Why? She could actually, or a president
Street walking.
Could mandate it's illegal to do street walking. You can't have hookers on the street anymore.
Right.
You can't have people jaywalking anymore. I'll make it a federal law. We'll send the Bureau in to get them. So what?
If there was a place somewhere where you could actually, and there's factcheck.org is probably
Yes.
the fairest. If you want a fact check,
Bring that back
is
up.
usually the most fairest. To find the truth of what they're saying. Their campaign managers, their campaign writers are the people that are throwing this garbage out there. And then these two and any other politician is repeating what they're being told to tell to the public.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Read it on last night where Walter said, I will correct myself on anything that I said that was not true or I should apologize for.
If you were already putting out a disclaimer like that, there's a problem.
Yeah. You got some things to apologize for.
Yeah. You're going to spend the rest of your campaign doing that. Let's slide on over there to Raleigh.
Okay.
As much as you probably don't want to.
No, I love Raleigh.
You love Raleigh?
Well, my son's getting ready to move back there from Wisconsin.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
That's a better move.
I want to go to Raleigh one day. I want to go to the museums. It's been years.
I want to go see our insurance commissioner. Hey, Mike, how are you?
That's my favorite person.
Come on.
Good
Come
morning,
on
Mike.
down. We're
Now-
glad to have you. Y'all come up here and I'll head west.
I go to Raleigh. I go to Raleigh just to see him.
Yeah, Mike Causey,
True.
insurance commissioner. Mike, you got to be busy right about now dealing with stuff to to immediate west.
Oh, it's constant. I'm telling you, you just wouldn't believe the outpouring of volunteers from everywhere.
No.
It's just been amazing. It's been a lot of tragedy and heartache, but when you see all the volunteers, example, I was in Ashe County one day at their little airport, and they had 70 planes come in one day, bringing supplies and food and material. And chairman of the county commissioners grew up in that area, and it brought him to tears because, number one, they'd never seen that much air traffic in one day.
I'm sure they haven't. So.
Imagine.
And there was a Learjet that flew in, and I met the pilot and asked him where he was from. He was from New York City.
Mm.
And a company up there decided to help, and they loaded a jet with 3,000 pounds
Wow.
of food and supplies. And then they've got volunteers unloading, and they've got people with pickup trucks coming to pick things up. And then, of course, the sad part, there's some of those roads you can't get to. You can't. You've got to have a 4-wheel all-terrain vehicle, or in some places actually have to have pack mules.
Wow. Well, we have compassion for our neighbors. I mean, not just here in North Carolina, but all across the country. We send people everywhere
Yes.
when there's a problem. In Onslow County, we got a bunch over there right now. Sheriff's office today or tomorrow, I think, or maybe
Right.
Wednesday, I think.
Well, there's volunteers and all the different churches and other groups collecting goods, sending them that way. And then you think about all the volunteer firefighters that are dispatched,
Oh, yeah.
and they're working 6-7 days at a time away from their homes and families.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got the linemen and the DOT workers that are, some of them just working around the clock. So, and I can't say enough good things about Samaritan's Purse and the Baptist men, or they call it Baptist on Mission. They're out, they're out there in trenches, cutting up trees, helping people out of their homes. And there's other groups too, but they're two of the biggest.
Yeah. There. Now, as the insurance commissioner, I'm sure a lot of things are going to be happening, and you've been through some of this before with other storms and with other natural disasters. What are some of the pitfalls that folks stay back here because out there in North Carolina they're not going to be able to be concerned about it so much right now. They're trying to live from day to day. But what about the people around here? That any warnings that you can give them? Any concerns that you see?
Well, you know, it's almost ironic that about 3 weeks ago I was at the coast.
Yeah.
For the same situation we had down in Leland and Southport, Carolina Beach. We had homes flooded, people displaced
Yep.
from their homes and businesses underwater, and then these the hurricanes spin off tornadoes. So then first part of the week I was in Rocky Mount, where they had tornadoes that literally destroyed buildings. Thankfully, no one was killed, but there were a couple of dozen people hurt. And when you see the force of those tornadoes, they could pick up a brick column and just throw it, pick up cars and throw them across the length of a football field. And then you go up to the mountains and look what the force of that water does. It took vehicles, it took whole businesses and washed them down the river, and whole towns washed away. It is pretty amazing when you see that sort of force. But I think the saddest story that I heard was, of course, most people do not have flood insurance, and the homeowner's policy won't cover flood damage, and most of this is flood damage. So most people essentially have no insurance. But in one of the counties, I think it was McDowell, a young couple had a very nice home. They had a great flood insurance policy,
Wow.
and they were going to put the house on the market and sell it in 2 or 3 months. So they decided not to renew that flood insurance policy, thinking the chances of having a flood the next 3 months must be pretty nil. And they didn't renew it. Their whole house was flooded and parts of it washed away. And you can imagine what was going through their head.
Yeah. If only I had.
Mike, can I ask you a question, please? This is Chris Marks.
Sure.
So I know obviously flood insurance would have been available or was available to those that may have wanted to purchase it at that time. Will it be available, to your knowledge, in the future that they can, because of this horrible thing that happened, that doesn't happen in homes?
Flood insurance is available. Now, it's true that FEMA, if you're not in some areas that FEMA will not write under the federal flood insurance program, but after Hurricane Florence, we got private flood insurance policies approved in North Carolina, and there's at least one company, maybe 2 or 3, that will write private flood insurance policies regardless of where you live. But what we learned from Hurricane Florence is 98% of homeowners did not have flood insurance, even if they lived close to water. And I guess the good news is that for those people that had their vehicles washed away, if they had comprehensive and collision policies, then if you've got a comprehensive and collision policy, that covers floods. So some of the vehicles where people were making payments would be covered. The other thing, is mobile home policies. If you live in a mobile home and you have an insurance policy that says mobile home policy, that's covered for flood. But what happens many times is people try to cut corners and they say, I don't want to pay the full price of a mobile home policy. So they'll piece together a couple of policies, a dwelling policy, maybe a wind and hail policy, and save a little money on the premium, but that's not covering floods. I tell folks, you get what you pay for when it comes to insurance, and it's a good idea to have all your policies once a year. Talk to your agent locally. And even people that had just flood damage, I'm telling those folks to go ahead and document the the damage. You've got to prove your loss. And there may be some things that your homeowner's policy might cover. For example, if a tree limb was home and punched a hole in the roof, that part might be covered under your homeowner's policy.
Okay.
Thank
Well, if you don't have, but if that tree limb is a result of the wind blowing, or if a tree falls down, you better have wind and hail, right?
Well, you need three types of policies. You need a homeowner's or dwelling policy,
Got it.
a wind and hail to cover the wind damage, and then a flood policy to cover the flood waters.
Right.
Okay.
And as we saying, you don't have to live in a flood zone to get flooded.
Yeah, we were talking
Many of
about
those
that.
places. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now, that's one of the areas that I get confused in. With just one. There are plenty of others, but wind and hail.
It's okay.
Yeah. I'm apparently I'm not alone. By the way.
No.
Wind and hail. If the the shingles blow off, and I get flooded from overhead, is that called flood insurance, or is that called something else? I thought flood came if the water came in from underneath.
The flood would be rising water.
Got it.
And if now if that limb that punched the hole in your roof, if you don't do something to protect from further damage, the insurance company may not pay off. But if your house gets wet because it's pouring rain and you have a hole in your roof and you didn't take any steps to prevent further damage, that's on you.
Okay, but they don't expect me to go out during the storm to put some blue tarp over it, do they?
No.
I don't know about that, but you certainly need to get somebody as soon as possible to protect from further damage.
Yeah, and of course that got to be a problem during Florence around here because to look at things. So we had that problem. But anyway, they came by as soon as I could, but we had somebody to put the blue tarp up right after the storm went by.
Well, one of the things we're doing at the Department of Insurance, we've got folks on the ground. We've been on the ground since the storm started over a week ago. But we're setting up what's called victims assistance centers, where we're going around the state in the damaged areas, talking with folks that need help, whether it's with flood insurance or any type policy, getting their claim filed and helping those folks with whatever sort of assistance they need.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, is it better for the people in Western Carolina that are dealing with this right now to reach out to the group that you just spoke of, or go to FEMA first? Is there one better way to start?
Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've heard all sorts of stories, and I tell people, if it's on the internet, you need to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times it's not true. I won't call any names, but I had a man that tends to stretch the truth just a little bit. He owns a home up at Lake Lure, and I was talking with this man, and he said, "Man, have you heard?" He said, "The federal government's taking over Lake Lure. They're going to bulldoze everything." And I said, "Is that a fact?" He said, "Yeah."
I read it on the internet.
So, the emergency management folks said that is not true. The federal government has not taken over this area, and it's true that some places would be bulldozed because there's nothing there. They had 6 or 7 businesses in a row that was washed down river.
Right.
But I've been up there. And FEMA is on the ground. They claim they have about 1,000 folks spread over the different areas. But there's one situation that almost nobody knows about. It was brought to my attention by the insurance commissioner up in Michigan. And they call it director. That insurance director happens to have a home here at Lake Norman. and was here last week, and I met with her briefly to talk about the storm issues, and she had been on the phone with the University of Michigan Medical Center, and they were very concerned that the IV fluid that they depend on to do surgery was going to be no longer available. And this is what's sort of scary. Apparently, there's a company here in Marion, in McDowell County. It's called Baxter Healthcare, Baxter Pharmaceutical, and they manufacture the vast majority of IV fluid for the entire United States.
Oh my.
Wow.
That plant is totally shut down. It was flooded. It was built on an island. The bridge washed away. And I got on the phone. I talked with the folks at Baxter. I talked with our health and human secretary here, and DOT's working around to restore the bridge. The Army Corps of Engineers has brought in a temporary bridge, and they're bringing in another one. And this company has hired a restoration company called Balfour, one of the largest in the nation. And Balfour last week brought in 500 people just to clean up that plant, and they're bringing another 500 in this week. And so this is an emergency situation, because if this IV fluid is not available, there's no, according to the folks I talked with, there's no other plant right now that makes that unless it's in a foreign country.
Oh, great.
And those would have to be approved by the FDA.
Yeah,
So,
that works well, doesn't it?
You think, well, how in the world did we get into this spot where we're building one plant to serve the whole country and no backup?
Wow.
But folks are on top of things and pulling together, but there's tremendous amount of work that has to be done.
You mentioned FEMA several times here, Mike. I'm trying. It's great to get reports from the Associated Press and from wherever it says, we got 1,000 FEMA guys. We've sent a team of 1,000 people in to Western North Carolina. What do those individuals do when they're on the ground in Western North Carolina? Can you give me some exactly what they do on a daily basis?
They have trucks that look at the Army transport vehicles, and they have the folks that work for FEMA there, and they're in some cases going door to door, but I church with Samaritan's Purse during that. But FEMA, the folks I've talked to, they're encouraging people to go ahead and go to the website and file the claim, and I don't know, I've heard all sorts of numbers, but the last figure I heard was about 46,000 people have all gone online and either filed a claim with FEMA. And I've listened to some of the folks with the state and the federal, and they're all pledging help. They're pledging money will be there to help these folks, but the folks need it right now.
I'm just trying to think, go online. Well, I'm glad 46,000 people could find an online to go to, because one of the first things that was knocked out was the internet in that neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they went to go online.
Well, they didn't have any cells, and some of them could have done it physically with the paperwork.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Folks. I know during Hurricane Florence, we set up insurance camps. We had the insurance companies come in with their mobile command centers, claim centers, and then we had FEMA. FEMA was right there with us. They had a tent, and the folks that needed help with FEMA could fill out the forms, whatever they needed. But there's still people up in some of those hollers that haven't even been found. So there's just a tremendous amount of work to be done. You've got livestock that needs hay. There's a lot of goods coming in. I saw a lot of dog food. I think it was one of the Purina plants in Rockingham County sent
Oh,
2 truckloads of dog food or pet food up that
Good.
way.
that's awesome.
Good. Yeah, but I'm sure they're getting a lot of toilet paper from what we're finding here in the east.
Because we have none in the east.
They've emptied the shelves here in Onslow County of toilet paper and paper towels.
A bit of good news. I don't want to take any of Mike's time, but I read, and I'm trusting that this is true, that 20 people were found in a church in Kleiner, North Carolina.
Really?
They had been there for 6 days, no food,
Yeah, that
no
was-
contact,
Oh my Lord.
but they survived.
I had heard that also.
Okay,
And,
Mike, thank you.
Well, you know, sometimes the need to survive will take care of you, especially if you're in a church.
Yes.
Right.
So that's a good thing too.
Good Lord looking down.
Well, thank you all for bringing this to the public attention. I think you almost every time you turn on the television, at least for our local stations, they're talking about it.
Sure.
I don't think some of these national news outlets are talking about it as much as they should be.
That was yesterday's news, according to them. Now, real quick, like I know there are going to be insurance scams that are out there. Some people that take the advantage of the opportunity to go, knock down a building or something and claim insurance for it. You guys, you're kind of going to be overwhelmed for cases like that. Do you leave that up to the actual insurance companies to
No,
check?
there's so much scam and frauds. Anytime we have a storm, any type of storm,
Sure.
but especially on a big storm like this with such devastation and destruction, these folks come from everywhere. They'll go door to door, and people are desperate. So here's somebody coming in, said, we can fix your roof, we can clean out your house, we can do the repairs. It sounds really good. All we need is a little cash.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times people turn over what little cash they have available, if they have any, and the folks take it and run, or they get them to sign all the insurance benefits over to the company.
Lord mercy. Yeah.
And
It's
then
horrible.
the insurance company pays out, and later the homeowner finds out the work wasn't done, it wasn't done right, but it's too late. They've already paid the money out to this contractor that flew the coop with the check. So you have to be very cautious.
Yeah. I don't know about other counties. Onslow County has a permitting process before anybody can come into Onslow County and to do this work. They're going to have to go and be certified, clarified, and bona fide.
That is great.
The sheriff's
Every
office.
county should do that.
Sheriff's office will make sure that these people, they'll know who they are and what they're up to, and they'll be able to carry cards on them that verify that. If you're in Onslow County and somebody comes over knocking on your door, no, show me your creds, and they better have Onslow County written on them. I don't care about Virginia. I don't care where you're from. You better have something from Onslow County. You're going to do work in Onslow County. So just a
And
word
we
for
also-
the folks
We
out there.
also tell people if somebody comes driving up in your driveway, be sure to write down their license plate number.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Ask to see their driver's license, any ID that they may have, and don't sign anything.
Yeah, make a copy of everything and sign nothing.
Correct.
You're absolutely right.
Mike, before you go, this is Chris again. I have a question. It just came to me. So FEMA is, I believe, giving, what would say, at least $750 to get people by. It just struck me. Is that money, how is that given to an individual? Let's say he goes and he gets $750. Is that, I'm still thinking, if you don't have power in certain areas, you're going to give them $150. How are they going to get it?
I think it's
Well,
on a
I don't know.
card.
I'm not familiar with the process right on
Okay.
how they're dispersing that money. I do know that the Department of Agriculture, North Carolina Health and Human Services, the folks that get the cards, all of those, those people that were getting the EBT cards and all that, if they will be taken care of. They're issuing new cards, debit cards, and that sort of thing. But there's some of these places that they can't take credit cards because the electronics are down,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got to have cash. And most, so many people just don't have the cash to operate day to day.
I remember a lot of small towns and communities, villages or whatever up there. They know who the people are, the residents, and they're doing a credit line for them. And they
That's
just come right to
that
pay
is
away.
wonderful.
Right.
That's the way a lot of the small businesses are doing it. I mean, they're trying to
Yeah,
help
that's
as
right.
well.
Yes.
Like the good old days.
That's
Like
the
the
beautiful.
Yeah, that's the way
right.
it should be in small town, North Carolina.
Well, I
Michael?
have one question
ahead.
before you let him go. When are you coming to Onslow County?
Next Ricky.
As soon as I can, but right now we've got our hands full.
I know you do. Well, keep us posted on this when you're going to be in this area.
And take care of yourself.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you all for putting it out to the public. We sure will.
We're trying to keep them informed as best we can. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
tell people if they need help, just shoot me an email to mike.causey@ncdi.gov, or you can go to the Department of Insurance website, which is ncdoi.gov.
Yeah, I sent
And,
one to you recently.
Yeah, we have folks on the phone Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and all they're doing is helping consumers and giving guidance, whether it's Medicare or any insurance issue or what have you. Let us hear from you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks for all you do.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
Be safe out there. Don't step on any of the boards and stuff that are washed out of the houses because they got nails in them sometimes.
Yes.
Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. Prevention is the key word, and community prevention services, that is to make sure any issues you're not blow up into anything that's life changing. You might think that the PTSD, the anxiety or depression you're dealing with is awful. Honestly, it probably is. Everybody deals with it differently. What you want to do is to make sure it doesn't get to a point that you can't deal with it anymore. And by dealing with it, don't even think about drugs or booze, all right? That's not where you need to be. Trying to cover up the confusion, the pain, the paranoia. Yes, it's all real. And the best way to deal with that is direct confrontation. The problem with that is finding someone who can actually help you without judging you. Family, even your closest friends may not understand what the issue is all about. Even if your best friend has gone through the same trials, not everyone is wired the same. Pretty good bet that even with your issues, you know folks with their problems that don't bother you at all. And the same thing for your issues. Your issues may not bother them at all, and they might not be able to understand. Why not reach out to a professional, a counselor that's right around the corner here in Jacksonville? No trips across the state looking for someone who can help you. Locally owned, locally operated community prevention services at 918 Henderson Drive. Counselors there actually care about their patients. You're a whole lot more than just a number. Give them a call, set up a time to talk. You'll be glad you did at 910-353-0972. That's 910-353-0972. Offshore today, we've got a small craft advisory in effect through this afternoon. Northwesterly winds kicking up around 5 knots, not bad. Southwesterly this afternoon sees the be kicking up 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds of rivers are going to be flat as twiggy, increasing to a light shot this afternoon. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 15 to 20 with gusts to 25, seas 3 to 5. Sounds the rivers are choppy. And Wednesday, okay, we're looking at Hurricane Milton, as it could definitely impact coastal conditions here in North Carolina later this week and into the weekend. Northeasterly winds to Wednesday 15 to 20, seas 4 to 6, rivers choppy.
And today it will be sunny with a high near 83. Tonight, isolated showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy with a low of 57. Tuesday, sunny high with a high near 78, and Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 75. And when you talk about impacting coastal conditions, we're talking about the coast.
High surf,
Yeah, high surf, damage
not
to
so
the
much
dunes,
winds, damage to the dunes,
rip currents.
rip currents, overwash. We we have problems along our coast. Dr. Orrin Bilkey from Duke University wrote a book back in the 70s or early 80s called The Dynamic Zone. If you haven't read it, pick it up. It's about North Carolina's dynamic zone. By dynamic, he told me when I interviewed him, he said, dynamic means it's moving. It's always moving
Right.
in, moving out. What we put in there if it's affected by the moving sands,
Mhm.
that's the dynamic zone. You might want to reconsider building there.
He's the one
We
that
have to reconsider it.
he's the one that developed and maintains that Tropical Tidbits website, which is very interesting to go on and watch
I haven't heard
that.
from him in a long time. I need to reach out to him. He's
Speak-
older than I am now.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Milton, I'm sorry, 125 miles an hour.
Yep.
Sustained
Right,
winds right
right.
now moving to 8 miles an hour.
I'm just looking at the 7 a.m. advisory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
already a category 3.
That 7 a.m. advisory is
Yes.
actually 8 a.m.
Our time.
Eastern time.
Yeah.
They put it on
Yeah,
Central
because
time.
yeah, you're right.
So
I was wrong a couple of times. Corrected that.
Something that I also need Chris to talk about. Every year we talk about Reefs Across America
Yes, we do.
and how we're striving as a
And
community
Veterans Day is coming up.
to
right
get
around the
enough
corner.
reefs out there. And first of the year, I talked about starting an organization to raise money, which I did not. I just decided I've got so much on my plate as it is. But Chris took the initiative to become a part of the National Reefs Across America, get his own ID number, and then start raising money for
Good for
reefs.
Chris. We need to get some pom-poms.
Yes.
no pom-poms, but thank you for that. So we did, and we've already started receiving funds from some businesses, from some church organizations. We are, if you go to the Reefs Across America website, we are in C0611.
And see.
C is in Charlie 0611.
We're actually look for Reefs Honoring Our Fallen Veterans. That's the name of the group we're starting. For those that don't know, and it's very special to all of us in this room, Lee and I have relatives of ours are in there.
Yes.
God rest their souls, along with many other veterans.
Mhm.
There are 6,000 veteran sites that need wreaths.
Well,
The last figure I had, we were 10.9%. That's 600. The event is December 14th at 12 noon.
okay.
The wreaths in the program for the group that we have, Wreaths Honoring Our Fallen Veterans. If you buy 2 wreaths at $17 a piece, that's $34. And I know we're all trying to help the West.
Yep.
And we should. But if you buy 2, there'll be an extra one donated. So you're
Okay.
getting 3 for the price of 2.
So 3 for $34.
For
$34.
3 for $34. And after the families lay wreaths, volunteers go out. Lee has been out there every year, as I have. And they're laying wreaths on the other sites.
Other families are not around from around these
No.
parts, so somebody's got to take care of them. The proxies, shall we say?
The people in it, the men and the women, need to be remembered.
Oh, yeah,
Not so much, and on Veterans Day, the parade's coming up, I think.
it is.
On the
9th, I think.
9th, I think, yeah.
The Veterans Day is always on the 11th.
The Veterans Day Parade is the first Saturday of November.
Is it? You sure?
Yes. Yes, it's always been
Go.
first Saturday.
Well, we had a fight of it Saturday, so
Okay, well, I will definitely check with Paul Lebesque.
okay,
Rolling Thunder is in charge of it.
okay.
Going back in charge, and I will definitely check with him. And I could probably look it up while we're talking. So
Oh, you can do that.
I could be
You
wrong.
could fact check it.
I can fact
You
check.
fact check
You're
that, or-
probably right, but could be
Don't
wrong.
say that
But-
because now I'll be wrong.
For those of my
Oh.
friends that listen to the show, which are quite a few, please give me a call or go to the site and just do it yourselves and
just donate.
donate. They'll take care of everything.
Yeah, $34 for 3 weeks. You'll never miss it at the end of the year.
Mm. And thank you for that. But thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Especially now, we got some. Did we get some state money this time? Talk to me about that.
Well, you know, last year when we had Senator Lazar on the show, and it was right about the time for Reefs Across America, we were discussing about how it's always a last minute flight to try to get enough reefs to
Yeah.
cover the cemetery. And we're thinking about starting our own chapter, et cetera, which thank goodness Chris stepped up to the plate. But the last thing that Senator Lazar said before he walked out the door that morning is, how much money do you need? And so it was 3 or 4 months ago, he called me and said, what's the name of the person I need to contact? I have he had procured $60,000 from the
Really?
state out of the, you know, they have their budget and then they have their play money. you know,
Discretionary.
discretionary money. There you go. That's very good.
Play money
That-
better.
Each senator, each House rep can request from that.
Like it.
And he was able to obtain $60,000, which will primarily pretty much cover the cemetery. Now, I don't know exactly if that's gone through as far as donating the money and them receiving it. I know Chris said that when he checked this area for our cemetery, it doesn't show that right now. So I don't know. I'll have to ask Senator Lazar what's the latest on it.
I can update you tomorrow,
Okay,
probably.
good.
I talked to Adam, his assistant in Raleigh. Great young man. But he said he was getting ready because Mike has been so busy. He's one
I
of the
know he is.
busiest men that he's ever met. He was going to get with him. He had a list of things, and that was going to be on the list just to find out for sure about that, because that money would be more than welcome. And Lee's right; that would cover everything.
That would be great. But if there's anything left over, it's not going to go to waste.
No.
It
It'll be
rolls
used for
over to the next year.
And as long as you got a nice little starting pot
Mhm.
for the next year, that's always a great thing.
Right.
It's easier to add to than to do the whole thing in
Mhm.
2 months period of time. So that's always cool. So if you guys want to get involved, go to the website. That'd be
Yes.
the easiest way to do it. Or
Right. I'm
track-
going to put all this information
Look
out.
Chris
So
up somewhere on the
find it.
streets, on highways, and
Yes.
byways, you'll find it.
You'll find me somewhere. The veteran, wreaths honoring our fallen veterans.
I just want to know, why is it so difficult to do this every year? We're a military town.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
there's a lot here. Well, you know, we deal with a lot of veterans issues, from the VA
Right.
or whatever, and there is actually.
Yes, Clifford, you were absolutely right.
I was wrong twice. I told you.
Right, you were right. Veterans Day Parade is scheduled for Saturday, November 9th.
Congratulations. See, you're feeling better already.
Good.
Another
Ten-
one.
Another one.
Now, let's not overdo it.
I'll put 2 up there just for that.
November 9th at 10 a.m., which we are planning on participating
Yep.
in the parade.
We will have a vintage. Hope it gets through all right. We've got right now.
Vintage pickup
Tim, if
truck.
you're listening, we're counting on you, bud. That's on November 9th.
Yes.
We're going to be riding 1966 Chevrolet pick 'em up truck.
Won't that
Wow.
just be
We're
grand?
going to be grand old flag and all of that sort of good stuff will
So
be
grand.
involved there.
Yep.
And it's for no other purpose other than that. The amateur radio, by the way, was asked after last week's National Night Out to participate and assist with communications up and down the parade route. Extra eyes in there. And we'll have a unit set up. And I guess what they decided they would put me as, I brought up to them where I was going to be. I will be the roving patrol because I will be in the back pick 'em up truck.
Was your group there? Your group was out.
Oh,
National Night
yeah.
looking around.
Everywhere,
Yes.
about 15 or so.
I saw some of that.
I was
thought
at the command post, so we are now set up at the Honolulu County EOC, main headquarters there. We've got a station set up in there that we man during all major events. National Night Out is not one of them. That's a city event downtown. But for disasters, whatever, the Onslow Amateur Club mans a station at the EOC, their own Commons Drive. And 24 hours a day during the entire time it's operational. EOC is made operational. We've got hams there on duty to handle communications throughout the county and beyond. We also now have one at the Jacksonville PD, Public Safety Building.
That's awesome.
And I was up there the other night, and it was great. They gave us a room, and we put a radio in there, and the city installed the antenna on the side of the building, and it's working wonderful. We were able to talk all over everywhere. And for the national,
You guys, that's great.
we got comms, and we talk to people everywhere as need be. And we're running a lot of, some of the members been running what we call health. If you are ever in a disaster and you're such as the West Coast, the western part of North Carolina, no comms in or out, no cell phones, no carrier pigeons.
We know about that.
No, nothing. They all died. Local law enforcement dead. Emergency communications dead. Ham radios alive, and they were operating up in that neck of the woods. If you are ever one of those caught in a situation like that, go find the ham radio operator, somebody in the area. They'll generally set up around Red Cross headquarters or whatever, and you fill out a little form. I've got a form over there somewhere. It will just say who you are, who you want this message delivered to, as much contact information as you have, and it will be relayed. That radio operator, it may be a guy with a walkie-talkie, but he will relay it to the next Alaska earthquake, 1964. I was a child,
Right.
and I was operating and relaying health and welfare messages every day.
Wow.
For people who were stuck in Alaska because there were no comms. You think communications are bad today in a situation? Alaska, had one telephone line going in, total, and they all shared it. It was a party line, and it was down. So they were relaying from that people would stop by the ham shack, the ham location at the different cities, and they would relay it up to a network, to eventually to a national network. May take a day. But these messages were relayed until it would come to a little dude like me in Jacksonville who had, okay, I want you to call this person at such and such, this location, or if you have to drive to where they are. I never had to drive anywhere. I don't think I have a driver's license, so I couldn't. But anyway, I did make phone calls, and I contacted people. And so-and-so, yes, your loved one, whatever, Ms. Jones, she's doing fine.
That's
They'll
wonderful.
contact you as soon as possible.
That's awesome.
That's the way it works. It's called health and welfare messages. It's working in East and Western North Carolina too. It's been doing that for a while, for over a week.
I mentioned Crime
I want to talk about next.
I just want to mention this. We'll be down at the Mullet Festival this weekend in the parade.
Is
Yay.
it Mullet Festival?
It's Mullet
this week?
Festival.
A lot of this stuff, you know, the Morehead City Seafood Festival
Seafood
slipped by me.
I know
It was
this.
this past
We're not
weekend.
hearing
Yeah.
about anything.
Phew.
Why aren't we hearing about this?
I read
stuff?
about it yesterday, but it was.
Well, I knew.
Seriously, I read about it. It's over.
Well, I quit going to the seafood festival.
Okay.
It was me because the last time I went, my sister and I went, and it was a lot of walking just to get to. It was all vendors,
Yeah, I got to stop at each one of them.
but it was
Eat.
expensive.
Well, that too.
Lemonade's like a glass of lemonade was like $8.
Ooh.
I was like, in a shrimp burger. That's just me. I'm sure other people have gone and enjoyed it, but I just found it just like it used to be, in my opinion. But maybe the Mullet Festival will be wonderful.
Sure, it's going
This
to
week. We're going to have to get Mike on here to talk about
we
what's
will.
going on. So, Mike, you're listening.
get your butt prepared, Michael.
Yes, we need to know what's happening.
There's actually a couple of ladies at City Hall because it's a function of the Salisbury City.
Right.
Yeah.
Puts it on, and they're still taking applications for the parade.
Mm.
And it's one of the few parades. This was another one I found when we were there last year for the Christmas parade in
Mhm.
Richlands.
I love that one.
Oh,
God,
that is now.
next time. Lights.
Oh man, they're in their yard. People are in their yard with little fire pit.
Yes.
Oh,
The yards are right up next to the
Yeah.
route. I mean, you can say hey, and they can hear
and they're wishing you Merry Christmas. Merry
Every
Christmas.
one of them.
We had such a good time there. But in the Swans, in the Mullet Festival parade, you can actually out through because you don't want no children hurt. But you can actually toss in it. It's very well controlled,
Yeah.
where the children cannot get close enough to the
Yeah.
vehicles.
That was the problem with people throwing candy or other things from the route itself, from the post.
Yeah.
Because we run out in the street to compete with each other. Now, the next vehicle behind that one might be a little bit closer to the curb, than it might be wider, broader. A marked van is going to take up the whole street.
You don't need to
So
be running over
You've
children.
got to be, trampled to death by a band. Not a good plan. So that's the reason for that. So
Yeah.
I give them kudos to understand all of that.
Are we going to play songs for the Veterans Parade?
You're singing.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
you're-
not
You're
singing.
the only one who can sing. I can't sing.
No,
I might with this
Not
voice,
happening.
But,
I haven't sung in years.
years.
Mm-hmm.
As many years as has been since I.
One of you two have to sing the song.
We can play it. We'll play it. He's a friend of mine. I'll just ask. We'll play it.
Yeah.
We'll get it. We're going to sing it live. Acapella.
Do you know that he's like 82 years of age?
At this time of my life, that ain't that old.
I mean, he gets
It
out
used
there
to-
at Trump rallies and he belts a song out. He's all over, and I was like, I wonder how old he is. I met him personally once when he came down here to the Tar Heel Opera House back in the 80s. And
I was young then.
yes,
Yeah.
I was his bodyguard.
Oh.
Lucky him.
Poor guy.
And he's singing.
Like he's still singing.
I got a word to follow it up with, but I ain't gonna do it.
Well, you know, being the co-owner of the company, the choose what concerts work.
I used to RHI
Yeah.
military wise
No.
rank as its
Oh,
privilege.
yeah. that's
Exactly.
right.
Like I sat on the stage with Tammy Wynette. I mean, why not? Why not?
Well, that's a good one.
Okay, we're done.
Well, I was up on stage with Charlie Daniels, literally shooting
Yeah.
photos while he was in concert in
Right.
Wilmington.
We had Johnny Paycheck come here for a concert. Johnny Paycheck. Oh, boy, I'm gonna tell you what, that was a crazy concert. I was talking about where we had so many young military
Mhm.
attendees and drunk and urinating in public, and oh my gosh, I'll never forget.
You know, I mean, normal operations.
that. We finally just gave up on trying to make them all behave.
For our beach music
Oh Lord.
lovers, I was privileged to host the first Emerald Beach Music Festival. With
Hey,
and chairman of the board with
Yeah.
God rest his soul, and Johnson.
right.
All the originals, the Band of Oz it was an unbelievable.
Yeah, I used to see those guys. There was the Emerald Isle because I was living in New
Right.
Hanover County at the time, and there was the Carolina Beach Music
Yes.
Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody said one time, I don't believe, I think there was a naysayer among their town board.
Mhm.
So the police chief said, officer, yes, sir, would you go to the top of that there building over there and get a picture? I want to show these people how many people there really are here. So I
Right.
did. Cabana Del Mar, I think was the name of it. It was a high rise.
Mm.
It was like I was shooting an aerial photograph of a Trump rally today. And what we did, we blocked out a certain area there, and
Right.
I did it mathematically speaking. I did a measurement of the entire on the photograph
Wow.
of the entire area, and it was wall to wall people. And then I cut out just a section. I don't know, 1 by 1 inch square, whatever it was. It was not that size, but then whatever it was, and counted the heads in that section. I ain't gonna count them all in the whole thing, right? And then I
Mhm.
multiplied it. That was, let's say it was 1%.
Mhm.
I took an area like 1% of the whole area,
Right.
counted the heads in there, and multiplied by 100. That's a legitimate way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There were 30,000 people in that stupid crowd. 30,000 people. on that
Well, would
piece
you
of
go
shit.
back and count how many were at that Trump rally in Pennsylvania over the weekend?
saw that
I
thing.
swear they were saying 100,000. I don't think it was that many, but I have never seen so many people.
Oh, anyway, I did it that way, and the council was convinced. The naysayer on council was put to shame, but that was his
Yeah.
chief's purpose. He was one of those kind of people. And by the way, up there from the top of that building, and in the color photograph, the nice blue ocean out there,
Oh,
and
my
about
God.
from the shoreline, the edge of the water, out to the surf zone, it wasn't blue.
Hmm.
It was yaller. Yaller.
Yeah.
Yaller. You want to understand that? Do I need to explain it
No,
to
you
you?
don't need to
no, I-
explain it.
Good.
We once had to go. We were
I had to
contracted.
go. That's what that's
There you
the whole
go.
point. I had to go.
We were once contracted to go to and do security at a concert with George Jones.
Oh,
It never
my-
happened. That was one of those he didn't show up at.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Forgot to get paid?
He just, you know how they said, no show Joe or George. And that was one of them.
Huh.
So never got to meet him. I did get to meet Conway Twitty
I did too.
and got on his bus even.
I got a picture of Candy as a little child about that tall with
Right.
Conway Twitty signing an autograph.
Oh, he was, and that was about a year before he passed away. So he'd come to Onslow County. So,
Hello, darling.
oh Lord.
Nice to see you. It's
Yes.
been a long time.
I know who can sing for us.
Yeah. See, Chris can sing on her float.
We could put him on the hood of that 66 pickup truck with a microphone.
Yes, we
Oh.
could.
Magic Mike. Or what is it? What is that?
Magic Mike is quite different
yeah.
from Chris sitting on. Believe me, there's a
I'm
big
talking
difference
about the
there.
magic mic. Weren't those things magic microphones or
Yeah.
something? You could
No, when you say
voice-
Magic Mike,
the-
all we ladies think about is Magic Mike.
You don't want to go there, Rayford.
It was several movies come out. Magic Mike, he was like a dancer, an exotic,
Okay.
sexy dancer with,
Think of Chippendales.
yeah, like a Chippendale. You say Magic Mike?
Chip
Nah,
and Dale, I think. The one
No, not those two.
that's not a commercial.
Not that,
I mean,
okay.
not a cartoon.
So, but I
This
want
is
to go back
really
to what
getting
you
out of
said.
hand.
Well, so let me go back to the rally that you were talking about.
The rally, yes.
The rally back in Pennsylvania where Elon was there.
Elon, yes, he was. He
Yeah.
got. Did you see? He was so nervous. I took it that he was nervous because he was like stumbling over himself, like I do every day on the show here. But and then he got it together. But that was awesome watching Elon talk.
Yeah. And I'm not going to question Trump's opponents, size of the crowds, which have been
In that small area, they were crowded.
Yeah. But I found it interesting. She went after the union said that they were not endorsing either candidate, that she decided to go back to a union to try to convince them to endorse her by telling falsehoods.
Really.
Sorry. She was.
Well, how about the opera singer that he had singing that Christopher Macchio?
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Well, apparently I missed something.
Oh, he was fabulous because I love opera anyway. But listening to him sing, he sang
Can you
Ave
understand-
Maria.
Can you understand opera? Do you
No,
understand
this
it?
is
Does it have words?
that's not that kind of. You're not talking,
Oh,
no, he sang Ave Maria. Oh my
Oh, that's
good.
gosh.
did
It was
he do
so
it a
good.
cappella? I hope.
No, he sung it with music,
Oh.
with recording in the background. But it was just fabulous.
One thing I really was noticed because on tonight, then I'm speaking about a candidate. 60 Minutes has got a tape special on her.
See, I don't like the tape.
I don't like the tapes either. Then she's
I don't trust him.
going to be on tape because all the late night shows, obviously, they're recorded during the daytime and
Yes.
then play back at whatever time, 11:30.
You know, they used to be live when they were
Yeah.
in New York. Johnny Carson was live.
The King.
the King.
He was.
Yeah, Johnny Carson was live.
So she had that, and she's going to do one with, of course, Colbert, who's a
Mhm.
well, anyway, and then another late night talk. But they're all recorded, and still will sit down and do a live interview. She's done 2 with NBC where she didn't get the question. I don't understand. I haven't been to the border, but I haven't been to Europe either. Okay. But when she did the CNN interview, still couldn't get to the question. That's what I really don't like about this is nobody answers the questions.
If you go back and let me read the question to you again, Adam.
Mhm.
How slow would you get to be? Here is my question. Now look at me, okay? Look, that's the kind of jerk that I would be. That's the reason I won't be a moderator. They won't let me be a moderator. They won't let me in the building.
Right.
But that's the way that I would have to do it. I'm sorry, I'm not answering the question, and I'm not badgering you, but let me know if there's anything I'm asking you don't quite understand. That will be fine. Is the sky blue, red, or white?
Well, I'm glad you brought up that question. But first, let me go back to what my opponent said. And then they get their 2 minutes is run up and they still haven't answered the question.
That's right. I you know, ugh.
Well,
I just don't trust the interviews.
No.
I really don't.
Well,
Well, you know, we have witnessed watching these live debates, both sides kind of like not answering the question and going around it and just answer it.
We've witnessed that in here with a couple of individuals, of which did not get elected because I did not give them the opportunity not to answer. I gave them the opportunity to say they didn't know.
We had one,
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember, that could not answer one single question that you
I know.
asked him, and then got upset and went out in the parking lot and did a video blasting us. Real
It was
You're
hilarious.
like,
And,
sure, okay.
sorry, but if I ask you what color is white and you know,
Everything was, let's just bash the person that's in that position and has been in that position that has done us well, I would say. And, but let's evade all the other questions. The question is there anything in your past that you might have done that
my infamous question.
you might want to come clean about it now, you know? And no, not really.
I didn't want to.
There was a list.
Here's the question.
There was a
Is
list.
there anything that if I learned about you tomorrow or next week
That's right.
would have caused me not to vote for you today if I learned about it today?
Mhm.
If there's anything in there, just share. I've had people not so much when I ask them that on the airs. I don't think I've had anybody to really fess up about anything serious.
No.
A couple of people said, yeah, I got a speeding ticket one time. And I really don't think I was speeding, but
Right.
you know, I don't care. But the people that I ask in an interview, a job interview, because that was the last question I would ask them. If I had you in front of me to do an interview for, that was the last ditch effort.
Mhm.
That was because I had hired you in my head. I didn't bring you in for an interview because I had 300 to 400 people for every position I ever advertised. So I only brought in the one or two that met, they made the final cut.
Right.
And if they were equal, I'd bring both of them in. If not, I'd bring one in. If that one failed, then I'd bring the other one in. But by the time I got to that point and I asked them the question, they already knew me pretty well by that time. And the stuff that they would tell me, well, you know, one time I was 2 years old and I stole this candy from my grandmother's candy dish. I mean, they would be surprised at the stuff that came out.
We've all done that.
We have?
I don't know.
I'll fess up to it.
Oh, God.
Got a caller. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing
Hey,
fine. What's up?
Kathy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Kathy,
You
you
guys are hard to get through to.
yeah, you need to turn that computer down. It's making,
Yeah.
I'm hearing us in
Oh,
the
yeah,
background.
let me do that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, Jeopardy, sorry, don't interrupt her.
I was in the room. Okay, so anyhow, to go back to the Race Across America.
Yes.
Okay, I just had a few things to let. I know is sponsoring of course a group, but he was looking for some numbers. There was about 6,000 grave sites. So the goal, get this, 6,000 wreaths. Sponsor, which puts them at 11.8%.
Okay.
That's not good.
No.
We're like only a few
we got-
months away.
We got 2 months to get it done. Let's get her done. The last month, please. Let's get
Let's get it done. Let's get it done by individuals. Let's get it done by reaching out to businesses. Anybody that wants to sponsor some wreaths and help. Let's get these our veterans taken care of, because they're one of the big things they say is to not leave one children behind.
Yeah.
And by them not able to cover all these, we're leaving one behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is not our motto. So just want to put that out there. And I'm sure Chris will provide the phone numbers that everyone can reach. Sponsors that help, they'll be able to help them get these wreaths purchased, because it is a very important thing. We don't want any one of our veterans out there to come up short.
Yeah.
And that's why he's doing the buy two, get one free. So,
Thank you.
Okay, by my math, that means 88% of those out there right now, unless we step up to the plate, will not have a wreath.
that is correct. At this point in time, on this date in October, with 2 months, October, November, about 2.5 months
It's
left.
2 months, yeah. So,
It's a crying shame.
yeah, okay. We got to do better, Kathy. We're going to keep harping on it. How's that?
Thank you, Kathy.
Please do. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Oh.
Okay. I've got to feel we've been there. I mean, we're kind of a semi-tourist area here.
Mhm.
Up and down our coast, we are a tourist area. I got a feel for the businesses, the tourist attractions, their businesses too, in the western part of the state. From Hurricane Florence 6 years ago, many of us have friends who are still recovering from the devastation caused their businesses. Some of them have not reopened. They have not been able to reopen. Some of them are at limited capacity still from Hurricane Florence. Every day that a restaurant or a tourist attraction is closed, not only are they closed, they're losing money. Not only are they losing money because they're closed, they're losing employees. They have to go find jobs elsewhere. So if they are ever able to reopen, they're having a hard time getting staff to come back. That's even today from Florence and the pandemic that followed. Adding to that will be the cost for the repairs. It's going to be expensive, complicated, particularly in Swansboro, some folks that I know there, by strict codes that weren't there before. Their businesses were not involved in that before. Government regulations and permits after permits after permits. You got to get a permit to go get a permit. Closed down, never to open again. Let's move out to Asheville, Biltmore Estates.
Yeah.
Major attraction for visitors, some who just to tour the old home, to learn about the history. Others who decide to spend a day or two there, they're not headed to Asheville, but they may do a dog leg because they've heard of Biltmore and may be coming down from the north, and instead of taking the coastal route to be going to a direct route to Myrtle Beach or down further south, they'll say, I've never been to Biltmore, I've heard about it, let's go over there. And they do. They spend a day or two there. Biltmore's closed.
Mhm.
Will remain that way for a little while. Don't know how long. A reopening date hasn't even discussed.
October 5th.
The earliest.
They just came out with that.
That's what they said last.
Yes.
That is the earliest that they will be able to open.
Hopefully,
The damage was spread across buildings and the grounds of the 8,000 acre property. I've been there. I was not aware that it was 8,000 acres.
wow,
I mean,
that's a lot. Could you imagine trying to mow that?
The 175,000 square foot home.
Right.
Did you know there was 175,000 square feet?
No.
No, but I know about the fireplace.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
50,000 square feet by itself.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
real day.
It is. Yeah,
Wow.
that's amazing.
I have never been there.
It sustained minimal damage at the house itself, as did the winery, good, conservatory, hotels, and gardens. However, Biltmore's entrance, farm, and buildings experienced significant flooding and damage. Some animals died.
I know.
The estate said the vast majority are safe and accounted for, their words. It will be closed until at least mid-October.
Mhm.
If you've never been to Biltmore, the gardens around the buildings are exquisite.
Oh, we're going nowhere near the mountains for a very long time.
Regardless of the buildings, regardless of the damages of the gardens, they've got experts on staff that will have those gardens up and running in the not too distant future. They will replant, do manicure. They're good at what they do there. I've still got a lot of photos that I shot up there a few years back. We went hopping up there a couple times. One of the ships. Oh my
Hmm.
God. It was so fun. Just to sit there, do all of the pictures I wanted. Non-tourist time that was there, so I like alone and by about 2 people there.
Mhm.
It was great.
I really hope they're able to get it back open soon because you've got the tourists and the Christmas season coming up.
You got that dog right there, Christmas show.
Yeah.
How many
Never
Christmas
seen it
trees do
ever.
they have in that place? 400 at least.
It's,
Well, maybe I might take another trip back
Yeah,
up
there you
after
go.
hurricane season's over.
actually, there's a Biltmore estate or Biltmore Village.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that took a lot of damage from what I
That got a
hear.
lot of
Yeah,
damage.
that was
But
it.
as far as the estate itself, I think they just had what, wind damage and
The biggest problem facing Biltmore right now is going to be the roads to get there.
yes.
Yeah.
The roads in and out. And the is like the hotels and whatever. I don't know how extended the damage is there. I don't know whether they will decide not to reopen for the season or not. Some of them may put it off until the spring so they can get all the repairs done.
Right.
They may see it as not a worthwhile project to do right away. I don't know. Some
There's been America's
Well, they
largest
forced to do it.
home, suffered flooding and damage to many areas, but main house is safe.
I thought that Oklahoma was going to buy it.
What?
Oh, seriously, that was yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was going to move to Asheville, buy Biltmore or whatever. I remember that discussion. It was they liked it.
And he likes living in Holt.
Please White vacation me there. If you don't believe it, Air Force One made a whole bunch of trips there.
A lot of trips, a lot of places.
Yeah, bitch. Had a lot of friends on board. But out there, fly to the kids,
Yeah.
their friends as kids and all that sort of good stuff. You can't go and take your own kids with you. I mean, you can't imagine being the president. You got some kids and you're gonna go somewhere. Well, they can't just get out there and mingle with the crowd.
No.
They have a bunch of Secret Service agents hanging around, and that's going to really put a dent into their fun time. And
Sure.
so they got to take their friends with them.
Was built in 1890. By George Vanderbilt. He hired
Uncle George
architect
did it.
Richard Morris Hunt to help him construct, which would become a landmark in U.S. history.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge place.
Need to get some hurricane shutters up.
A tragedy struck in 1914. That's when they had that big flood back then.
Yeah.
Remember that?
No, I wasn't there. Come on. For God's sakes, girl.
Do you remember we met you in the news? You ran a TV station. You should remember. Oh my God.
Blue Parkway still closed.
Yes.
I remember when it came back. Still closed. The National Park Service put out some pictures showing
Right.
just some of the damage caused by the storm. Park Service spokesman said the entire length, as well as its crews, continue to assess the damage. Park Service employees from 32 states plus D are helping with the recovery effort. The Park Service people from 32 states are there to make sure the people from Washington will screw it up.
Well, you better send some more people down.
It's a big time of year for the Parkway. Hikers love this time of year with the traditional color changes.
Oh my goodness.
Walking
I know.
walking there, hiking through it.
I was so disappointed I didn't get to really see
Taking a lot of pictures. Well, you
Right.
saw it from up close and personal, but you got out.
Not the way I wanted to see it.
You got out under cover, did you? Pretty close
Didn't you
to it.
No, it was Saturday afternoon. As soon as the sun went out and discovered we could actually get to noon, came back. My daughter gets out of the car yelling, "Pack it up!" Take us on. But we got out.
How long did it take you back to go for that trip?
10. Oh yeah,
To go
to pack.
to leave from here to go to the
Well,
mountains?
I would say if you put together a little bits and pieces here and there, probably a good hour and a half.
How long did it
10
actually
minutes.
take to get to go from here
From
to
the
you shopping stages to buy the stuff that you need to take to pack it all up, get it in the suitcases, get it
Well,
in the
that's true. I
truck.
had to stop at the store and
So
so.
how long did it take you? Not to just stay up. How long did it take you to pack for that 3-day vacation?
Well, packed at home.
2
Then,
weeks, right?
but then I had to keep. Oh, let me go get the lantern.
Okay,
Yeah, let me go
okay,
get this.
3
Let me go
weeks,
get that.
right?
Right.
How long did it take you to
10
pack
minutes.
that?
10 minutes.
There
My
was
sister-
an
my
incentive.
sister-
There's a hole out there. Let's go.
My sister and I, we never really unpacked, but we kept through the time period of no electricity or anything. We just kept putting stuff up and saying, "Get
Somebody
it already."
somebody told you there was a light on the East Coast,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yes.
were gone.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
but you
yeah.
returned in the
It
darkness.
took me, yeah, because it took like 7 hours to get home.
Yeah.
It took extra time to get home because before we could even get out of Watauga County,
Yeah, you're paddling that truck
we
around
were-
the river was a mess, wasn't it?
and let me tell you what, I love my 4-wheel drive because I was like, move over, I'm coming through.
Get
So
out
it's
of my
nice.
way. I'm getting
It's
home.
nice, yeah.
Okay. We do appreciate y'all this morning. Thank you. And we'll be back tomorrow. We have some folks coming in tomorrow.
Yes,
Cross.
we're hoping that the Red Cross.
Okay.
We're talking to them. So I'm hoping it'll be tomorrow. We still have one place we're talking to. The MCA we're talking to. We've got Rose and Peter Wright this week. Chris Miller. So I think we're going to have a busy week. I'm hoping.
It's good.
Now that everybody's through all the craziness that's been going on last month.
Let's see if I got any late messages here.
And then I need to talk to Mike McHugh about catching
Yeah.
us up on the Mold Festival and stuff. So we need to get him in here one day. So,
I'll see him Wednesday. We have a Crime Stopper meeting.
oh, okay, very good.
mentioned- I'll
And then,
mention
we'll just, we'll be here.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Okay, Chris.
Enjoy.
Chris. Actually, it's not Chris Clark. Chris is the other one.
Why?
With the deals. Because the voices are the same. They're very nice and deep,
Sing
very
that.
mellow.
Well, Chris Marks can sing too.
Yeah, I know. I heard.
Yes.
Should have recorded
It
it.
was an accident.
I let him. I wonder if he could sing us a couple of Christmas.
Kelly, you need to come back soon because sitting between these two. Crazy.
What did I do?
Nothing at all.
Yeah, that's
I thought I
she
was
says.
rather tame today.
It's really
It's
cool.
always good having a girlfriend to back you up.
Yeah, the real thing about this doing it with Facebook and YouTube, we can go as long as we want.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because we're running late as usual. That's cool.
What's wrong with that? It's Monday. We're going to do what we want to do.
Absolutely, we're gonna do it anyway. Chris,
For being here. Let's enjoy you.
always
man.
welcome as well. So, anyway, we'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Yes,
And
we
it will
will.
be early. It will get bright sooner or later, but we'll be here.
Yes.
And my voice is coming back a little.
Yes,
The more I
it's
talk, the better I am, right?
It's gotten better
It
since
has.
this morning.
You got ailment going on. Exercise, you better.
That's right.
Now, if
Stay
I can-
busy.
now, if I can start exercising the brain, maybe I'll be fine. Have a great rest of your day, y'all. You are live. You are local. We are awake and we are never woke. Do you like that one? I like it. I thought it was good. See you in the morning. Be safe.